7. Alien spaceship. After the kennel scene, the crew looks at 2 burned dog bodies in the rec room. Clark is upset. Knowles comforts him. Child smokes a joint. Blair is worried. Knowles tries to cheer Clark up, but Clark doesn't cheer up. Norris goes through the map and finds the place where the Norwegians made their discovery. Bennings points out the bad weather and MacReady prepares to fly in the helicopter. Gary, Blair, and Childs discuss the disease's arrival at the station. Blair deduces that it must have been a dog of the Norwegians. Gary downplays the claim, but Blair reminds him that the Norwegians' dog wasn't a dog, but something else. Blair tells about MacReady's video discovery and that MacReady wants to go investigate the Norwegians' discovery site. MacReady, Palmer, and Norris fly a helicopter to investigate the Norwegians' discovery. Confused, the trio find a massive opening in the ice with the spaceship, charred, gnarled, and mangled metal everywhere. MacReady and Norris descend into the opening. Norris examines pieces of metal detached from the spacecraft, describes it as some unknown material. Norris thinks that the ship has been inside the ice for more than 100,000 years. At Outpost 31, Blair and Fouche examine all the bodies of the dead dogs. The trio returns from their helicopter trip. The crew discusses the discovery in the rec room. Some of the crew watch the Norwegians' videos to find information about the mysterious spaceship. Palmer gets excited to talk about von Daniken's literature. MacReady and Childs ponder the events regarding the alien ship and its passenger. As in the film, MacReady guesses that the object is outside the frozen ship, and Knowles finds torn underwear in the kitchen trash. He brings them in front of the crew and asks who left them in the kitchen trash. Childs asks Blair, "You buy any of this, Blair?" Blair answers to himself, "It was here. Got to that dog. It was here in this camp." And Gary and Bennings ask Blair question after question again. Serious Blair doesn't answer. Unlike the movie, in the script, Palmer, instead of Bennings, makes the exploratory trip to the alien spaceship with MacReady and Norris. After the trio returns to the station, the scene where the crew discusses the discoveries at the site of the alien spaceship is significantly longer in the script than in the film. In the script, Blair's perception of events and the thing slowly begins to change Blair. This is not shown as strongly in the film. In addition, the computer simulation of the organism's infection shown in the film was not depicted in the script at all. 8. You been into Child's weed, Blair? Blair tells the crew the conclusions about the dog thing. Blair says that the Norwegian dog could change into anything. He concludes that if the dog thing's transformation had not been interrupted in the kennel, the dog thing would probably have changed back into 2 separate, normal-looking dogs. Palmer points out that the original alien by the spaceship was not a dog. Blair thinks that the thing tries to transform and imitate from cell to cell into an organism that can survive in the environment. Childs questions Blair's theory by confirming that the alien in the form of a dog would have turned into several dogs. Blair nods. Norris doesn't believe Blair's theories and asks if Blair smoked Child's marijuana. Gary asks what the problem is in the end. Blair says the transformation of the dog thing isn't over yet. Hearing this, the crew gets scared and retreats. Several shots of the scene have been filmed, one of which, after being cut, ended up in the final film. Here is longer version.
You see, when this thing attacked our dogs, it tried to shape its own cells to imitate theirs. We got to it before it had time to finish.
Finish what?
Finish imitating these dogs.
You're saying that that thing in the ice was trying to become our dogs?
Yeah.
If it had succeeded, there'd be 3 dogs here instead of what you now see.
It seems to be able to imitate other life forms.
So what's our problem?
The thing's not dead yet. Still some cellular activity.
What's it gonna do? Put itself together and come chasing after us?
I don't know. I don't know.
In the final film, the scene is much earlier, before the crew starts examining the Norwegians' videotapes. 9. Burning dogs. The crew burns the dog bodies immediately after Blair's conclusions. Fuchs tries to prevent burning. MacReady and Childs proceed to burn, but Fuchs tries harder to block. A scuffle ensues between Fuchs and Childs. Copper comes to Childs' aid. Fuchs' strong resistance to the dog thing's body raises great suspicions among the crew about Fuchs. Blair and Clark are in the kennel. Blair asks about the dog. Clark tells about the bandage and that the dog's wound healed really well. Blair becomes suspicious of Clark. In this point, the plot in the script starts to deviate significantly from the movie. The burning dog scene is missing from the film, or it is significantly different. In the movie compared to the script, there are big differences regarding the bendings and the handling of the bodies. In the movie, the bodies are stored in one room where Bennings gets infected. This is not described in the script at all. In addition, Fuchs' behavior in the film is completely different from the script. The scene where Blair and Clark are in the kennel is partially the same as in the film, but in the film, it is shown significantly earlier. 10. That thing didn't want to become a dog. Blair and Gary walk down the corridor of the station. Blair is worried and suspects that one of the crew is infected. Gary asks Blair if he means to make someone sick. Blair doesn't mean that. Gary stops by the radio room and asks Windows if he has reached anyone on the radio. Windows replies that it has caught nothing but 2 Argentinian disco channels. Gary insists that they need to get help to the station. Blair says, No, you can't let anyone in here. That dog was all over this camp." Bennings interrupts with the map. He tells Gary that tomorrow it would still be good to travel due to the weather, but after that the weather will be really bad from the north. Fuchs appears and says, "Goddamn fools." Men come in from outside, at the same time Blair pleading with Gary. "Listen to me, Gary, please." Gary tells MacReady that if the weather clears up enough before Windows catches anyone on the radio, MacReady and Copper should go get help from McMurdo. Blair protested strongly, "You can't let people leave." MacReady says he won't go anywhere if the weather is bad. Gary pressures MacReady to leave. Blair continues, "Don't you understand? That thing didn't want to become a dog." Gary gets nervous at Blair's pleas and says that there are 6 dead Norwegians. A burnt spaceship and a major scientific discovery was just destroyed. This scene in the script is significant for 2 reasons. First, the scene reveals that Blair the person's behavior changes because he begins to understand and know more about the thing's purpose. Blair realizes that the entire people of Outpost 31 are a significant threat to the outworld. In the film, this was practically replaced by a computer simulation scene. The second thing that is significant about the scene is that Gary plans to seek help elsewhere. This is a completely logical course of action that would actually happen in real life. 11. Now go easy on me, Esperanza. I'm just a beginner. MacReady is in his own shack playing chess and drinking tequila. He is accompanied by a rubber woman, an inflatable companion who stays in place in the chair with the help of a sombrero hanging around his neck. Hawaiian music plays in the background. MacReady makes the move and says to the computer, "Now go easy on me, Esperanza. I'm just a beginner." The chess game wins, and MacReady, annoyed, spills his drink on the circuit board of the chess machine. MacReady notices that he has run out of ice meant for drinks and leaves the yard to get more with the help of a small ice pick. Suddenly, he hears a strange metallic banging sound in the distance. MacReady follows the sound, but it stops. He approaches the helicopter and notices that the helicopter's controls have been tampered with. At the same time, MacReady hears gunshots from the main building. He starts towards the main building. Blair is in the radio room in a frenzy. He declares that he will kill anyone who tries to enter the station. Blair tries to shoot the crew who try to enter the room from the corridor. Blair smashes the radios with an axe while revealing that the thing is trying to turn into a human because that's the only way it can get out of the glacier. He adds that if even one cell of the thing gets out of the glacier, nothing on Earth can stop it. MacReady tells about the sabotaged helicopter and tells Childs to go check on the other helicopter in the tractor. The men plan to surprise Blair through the window, but MacReady tells Norris to turn off the lights in the room, and at the same time, MacReady uses the table to restrain Blair. As a whole, the scene is completely different from the movie. In the movie, Bennings is infected and about to transform. The crew burns him and the rest of the thing corpses outside. As MacReady is about to return to the main building, he notices Blair running from the helicopter back inside the main building. This is not described in the script at all because Bennings' fate in the script is different than in the film. In addition, the script does not mention that Blair killed the rest of the dogs, as in the movie. In the movie, Fooch and MacReady are on a snowcat. Fooch tells MacReady about Blair's notes. This is not described in the script at all. In the script, it is funny that MacReady pours the drink on the chess computer again. This means MacReady is a bad loser, and Outpost 31 has had more than one chess computer. Also, an interesting detail about MacReady's chess playing in the movie is that sharp-eyed viewers have noticed that the side MacReady plays changes in the movie. This is because, in the script, MacReady plays chess on the computer several times. All these scenes are filmed. In the end, the film scene has been cut and edited from several film scenes. No video footage of the scene has been published, but some images of MacReady, the chess computer, and the rubber woman has been leaked to the public.
Come on, Blair. What about your shack, MacReady?
Don't want him in my shack. We'll lock him in the tool shed.
Why am I in here?
For your own protection, Blair.